what I find about this camera is that it's the 5D Mark II grown up. Without all the issues we've had to work around for the past 3 years, it did what a camera should do, which is to stay out of the way, produce an incredible image, and allowed me to focus as director on what I think we should all be focusing on, which is telling stories.
It sees beyond what you can see with the human eye, which I think is really cool. I mean, I've been waiting for that for a long time. And it's beautiful at the same time. It's not like you're going to get big grain at that point. So it is, in that way, very revolutionary in terms of speed.
Well, with this camera, you're literally at 20,000 ASA. At night in the streets, you should do 568. 568, stop. And it's rich, it's got black, it's beautiful, it looks great.
And I see this as opening up an entire new world of lighting in a different way, and pushing the creativity to not being limited by 5 or 6 18Ks at night, but to rethinking the entire way of lighting a scene during the day, on an overcast day, interiors, and at night. And I find that tremendously exciting, that you don't have to have lights, but that you should have lights and be doing things that they have all dreamed of, I've all dreamed of, since we ever picked up a camera.
We shot a lot of other material that's not in the trailer, also at night, with minimal, absolutely minimal lighting, and I was continually overjoyed and blown away at the amount of detail in the dark area. Also, the camera was able to hold the highlights as well. Car headlights, storefronts, anything that you might pick up at night, point sources against dark backgrounds that actually held detail. We did a lot of tests and found out that 500 worked best for us. And it was never an issue from that point forward. It delivered the best look for what we felt suited the film. The largest light we carried was a 2K and some Kino flows, and that was the entire package right there. And we rarely turned on more than 2 at any given time. The chip sees more than your eye can see sometimes, and the issue becomes suppressing information, which is always a good thing to have. It's easier to suppress than it is to find something that's not there.
Yeah, the sensor is totally new, and I'm going to show 2 pictures. I think they'll convey very quickly what's strikingly different about this sensor. It's a 4K sensor. We only utilize, however, these numbers here with the color filter array and activate that same number in the sensor itself. Now, the significance of these 2 numbers up here is that if you break out the 3 colors, your red is 1920 by 1080. Your blue is 1920 by 1080. The green, however, is 1920 by 2160. Now, we don't debayer. We code with classic bayer. But the decoding to get the red, green, blue, we simply have a very agile CMOS empowered readout. And we suck out the blue, 1920 by 1080. We suck out the red, 1920 by 1080, and then that green, I've broken it into 2 colors to show you that in fact what you've got there is 2 greens, 1920 by 1080 each, offset a ½ pixel horizontally and vertically. We then sum those 2 greens, so we bring out 4 signals out of the sensor, sum the 2 greens, and you end up with a super green that has extended dynamic range, has a very high MTF, and because of the ½ pixel offset horizontally and vertically, no aliasing. So you make a tremendously clean green. We have an HD SDI, a single HD SDI that's 422 output. And we've already been working with the codecs of this world, the S2s and all those, so you want to use any of those recorders, we've got that worked out.
It opens up a lot of creative possibilities because you can either shoot with 1 camera, it's really big, or you can have 4 or 5 of these. And you know, when you look at the big screen, if you can't tell the difference, then what are we talking about? You know?
We didn't have a DIT. I didn't have even a reference monitor. I just used my meter, and I trusted in the technology, and I was not disappointed.
We had a DIT guy with us just as a backup. I shot like I normally do, just shoot as a cinematographer. You look at it by eye, and you expose it through the camera, and you see what you see, and that's what you get.
Yeah, we shot it with no DIT and handled it like you were shooting an original negative. Yeah. You know, you trust it, and it's got a great monitor, the little monitor that flips up that comes with the camera. is perfectly good to know with its histogram where you're sitting, and as long as like negative, you want to put it in the middle or you want to edge it, but it's very, very forgiving, and you can rely on the technology to hold the image.
I can tell you the estimated list price is going to be $20,000. We're anticipating delivery sometime by the end of January. That is a worldwide release.